happening? What's happening? What's happening, good people? How y'all doing out there? Y'all know who it is. It's me, your homegirl, Ladosha Wright, aka Key Lolo. That's right. Coming to you live and direct all the way from Cleveland, Ohio. And over here to my left or your right, depending on how you're looking at it. You know who see how we hit it at the same time? Oh, we just good like that. That's right. It's my PNC, the one and only, the unapologetically brilliant Cheryl Morrow, the hair oracle. And boy, are we in the house. We are in the what is this? The bootleg, what do you call these things? Virtual building. That's right. And we are on our 72nd episode. 72. 72 is going down, 72, and we have the topic of all topics. Y'all know what we're talking about? The power of the P. No, not that P. Protein. That's the P we're talking about. It's going down tonight. It was popular. I mean, last week we had so many protein questions. We could barely get out of the chat. What's up, Kofi? We got Kofi in the house, the one and only Kofi Pieside with that wonderful book that just came out. So he and I hope I'm saying his name. I'm just gonna say Sean, okay? Yeah, so go check him out over at drop your book thing, in the chat. His I forgot the name of your publishing company. So check out Kofi Pieside. He also has Kofi Pieside TV. But tonight is going down on America's favorite podcast about Afro hair. Again, we are going to be talking about the power of the P, not that P, but protein. But before we do that, y'all know we got to go ahead on Same Tree, Different Branch Publishing. Thank you so much. We're going to go ahead on and drop some of our homegirl, the one and only, the lovely Miss Rachel Evans, because y'all know this is how we do it up in here. We just always got to play our theme song. Other podcast shows don't have no good theme song like this one. So here you go. And don't forget now, this is for sale. And this is by the wonderful, wonderful, beautiful Miss Rachel Evans. We have got to get Rachel on this podcast before the year is out so we can pick her brain about this beautiful song that goes like, You be your own beauty in this song. When you put this song on, you be like, me myself, Cheryl, I just like doing the snake. Y'all know I just like the. I'd be so very happy if you would let me do your hair. Hey, you gotta get your little bounce on. Hey, get your blanket. Let me do your hair. Y'all come on in the building. Come on in the virtual building. Get y'all drinks up. Come on, get y'all drinks. I hope you guys have your questions ready. It's all about the power of the P. The P, the P, the P. That's protein. Protein. Survivor of what you've been through, heartache and struggle. If you would let me do your hair. You know a song is good when you can't sing, but you be singing anyway like this. Let me do your hair. Y'all know the words. Come on, don't be scared to sing. Go ahead. Have that microphone. Y'all weren't ready for that, was y'all? No. Let me do your hair. Come Come on, let me do your hair. Come on over to 2062 South Taylor and Cleveland Heights. We doing some horror up in here. Listen to that saxophone. What's up, Miss Ernisa? How you doing? And we're doing too much in the title. The name of the song is Let Me Do Your Hair. And it is by the one and only Miss Rachel Evans. I'm sorry, it's Sister. Sister, let me do your hair. Let me and Hair Savant do y'all hair. We real cosmetologists. We just took the test. Come on. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Just such a beautiful song. You could just play it. It just makes you feel good if you're down in the dumps, or if you think you're always cute like me. You know, if you're a Scorpio, you swear you're cute. Scorpio season is upon us. It's coming, y'all. When the Scorpio season comes, I'm playing all Scorpio songs. So get ready if you are a Scorpio. As a matter of fact, why don't you guys humor Cheryl and I and drop your zodiac sign in the chat? Don't forget, if you want to know more about protein and you came here just to get all of your questions answered, please, y'all, hit the heart button. We are finally starting to gain some traction out here in these YouTube streets and on these Facebook platforms and LinkedIn. What's up, LinkedIn? Come on, LinkedIn. You come on in. LinkedIn be all bougie like. Come on, LinkedIn. Have a lot of fun with us tonight. We're going to be talking about the power of the P. That's what we're talking about. We got Gemini. I should have known you was going to be a Gemini. All right, Oracle. Harris Savant is a Gemini, which, by the way, is Geminis are like the coolest damn people. Like, y'all just be like on this even chill. Like my cousins, I have a lot of cousins who are Geminis, and I'm telling you, they're always just like they just like they unfadable. That's what your sign should just be, unfadable. Y'all just like whatever it is, what it is. All right. So again, we are on our 72nd episode, and boy, this is going to be a powerful hour of power, but we got to start off with some current events. And sure, I know you're tired of hearing about this, but I have to do this, y'all, because I mean, we would be like bootleg. You talk about the dumbest shit that people say about black hair. They are at it again. Check this out. This time they are at it, and check this out. You ready? Here y'all go. Y'all ready? You guys are not going to believe this, but here we go. Look at that, Cheryl. A black student was suspended for his locks, but the school says that ain't discrimination. And guess where this happened at? You guys are going to love this one. You ready? Texas. Didn't Governor Abbott, here he is right here. Look at that. He just signed the act. Look at him, Cheryl. Look at all them colored folks around. Ain't not one white person. They got all them colored folks around him. He's signing that bill like, I'm going to let y'all. Here go another one. Hold on. Now it's finished, right? Look at it. Bam. And they all like, praise the Lord. Hallelujah. Come on in. Come on through, y'all. Look at Governor Abbott. Oh, idiot, okay? I'm being mean. I don't know Governor Abbott. I'm just being, a hater. So he signed this act, right? But Cheryl, humor us. And can you just tell us, what did you say the problem with the Crown Act is, that they won't be able to do what with that Crown Act?
I was just basically trying to share that it's not enforceable.
Oh, wait, don't say nothing else. Hold on. Here you go, Savant. This is why she is called, excuse me, we're going to get a flag on this for Cheryl, but I got to. We're going to get a flag on the hair, Savant. We are going to get a flag. If you have children, please plug your children's ears up, because I'm going to tell y'all right now, That's what the F she said. She said it's not going to be enforceable, and there you have it. Bam! Georgia served a suspension last week. His mother says he, you know, wearing his dreadlocks in the ponytail, even if he has to go to an alternative school. The incident caused a debate over hair discrimination in schools. And they said the Crown Act took effect this month, September the 1st, but she even had a discussion about the Crown Act with the principal, and she said, "What, Cheryl? The act does not cover the length of his hair." So Cheryl said it's not going to happen. Now, before I even met Cheryl, y'all already know I was like, that Crown Act, but everybody, Ladosha, she think it's her last name right. And I do think it's my last name right, that I'm always right, even though it's spelled wrong. And most of the times I'm wrong. But this time, this one time here, Savant, I was right. And then I met Cheryl, and Cheryl confirmed it. It's not gonna happen, y'all. I'm telling you. What's up, Mika? How you guys doing? We're gonna give some shout outs. But before we give some shout outs, Cheryl, I gotta play you what they are saying over at Roland Martin, which, by the way, I am a subscriber to Roland Martin. I like Roland Martin because he be like, they ain't gonna talk about this on the news. But here's what Roland Martin and them had to say. Check this out. Here y'all go.
I'm trying to understand. So Derisha, what actually happened here? What is the school district's code when it comes to hair?
Well, they saying that his hair fall below his eyebrows when let down.
Allie
Um,
Booker, what is this loophole? So what's happening here in terms of why he is not able to be in school?
Well, the loophole that they are discussing is that, well, it's basically that the law is not defined. So the argument is that although there is a Crown Act that covers texture as well as protective hairstyles, it does not cover length, or at least that's their argument.
And she got a law firm. Booker.
And,
I like that
and,
name.
and let me just say, they wrote it. They wrote it based on style. They did not write it based on we have earned exemptive status. And see, I don't care about reparations. I care about exception. We have earned beyond. I don't care about reparations. But if the highest court in the land is going to uphold dress code in terms of what does length serve? What does length about? What is length about? What is the history of length in this country? It is embedded in the dress code because length was a requirement for boys so they won't get mixed up with girls. That was the original intent. But once you go into the law and you want to correct 403 years of enslavement, governmental sanction, discrimination, Jim Crow, black codes, and you want to go into it, you have to know what you're doing when you're rewriting white folks' laws that kept you limited and restricted of your citizenship. You cannot just write it based on a cultural hairstyle because you want to write it so you can defend yourself against the dress code, which is the highest court in the land, Supreme Court. Because guess what? You know, the new Supreme Court Justice Ketanji, she has very long locks, right? But when it comes to boys, we needed to make sure that we could keep that in mind when we wrote the legislation. And that is what we are going to be trying to do in the state of Ohio.
See that? Listen, guys, we have got to come out of this whole thing about discrimination and racism. And like when you come to the Afro Hair Summit, Cheryl is teaching us that we have to turn that table around and we have to address it for what it is. It is Afrophobia. If we just keep crying, they then they get to hide behind. Let me get a piece of paper. They get to hide behind they real fear and let us keep saying what? Discrimination, discrimination. In the meantime, they hiding back here. They're never going to address what their real problem is. And I knew that law would never work because they put the word style. Styles are not natural. It's never going to work. And if we, like Cheryl said, if we could just let go and stop using that victimhood to just keep they, because we already know we look good, ain't that right, Miss Foster? Sandra, I don't even know what you look like, and I already know you like, I don't need them to tell me I look good. Harrison Vaughn, everybody in the chat, I don't care what color you are,
Yeah.
what your texture is like. We don't really need that.
Yeah, but pay attention to when they say when they let his hair when his hair is let down, right? It falls below his eyebrows. Okay, so let's just say, all right, son, what I want you to do is I want you to put up the back, and we're going to trim the front, just the front. Let's just say that. But at the end of the day, this is not about um they've not they have taken race out of it. See, black folks are still in the race issue. Oh, you don't like, because of the locks. And we have to be smarter than that when we start writing laws. And I'll be honest too. I'm not a fan of politicians at all. At all. However, if when our senators and our congress people start introducing bills that they know is soft, and they know that the governor is not going to have a problem, signing it. But also, who's going to enforce it? Are you going to have workshops for your Congress people? Are you going to have works for HR? Are you going to have work enforcement classes for your DEI departments? What are you going to do to change the living standards of which African Americans have um, are under in this country, and what is commiserate with our contribution? That is the only conversation. At the end of the day, we don't give a shit with who follows the rules. We are not going to follow the rules. Why? Because we have an exceptional relationship in this country. And we don't have one. We have one that the very paper that law is written on, that piece of paper has also been codified to create a second classmanship for 430 years. And so we don't need another law to keep our restriction and limitations in the violation of our constitutional rights and our freedoms. We don't need another paper, but we do need our lawyers and our jurists to be smart when they're writing it, and to ask the cosmetology field, ask the experts. Don't just write shit.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's the issue with that laws, and it's unfortunate. And I try to keep, and we have to start contacting media outlets like Roland Martin. Stop talking about this shit in a dumb way, because if we keep talking about it in a dumb way, and the NAACP and the LCU and the churches and the professors keep talking about this in a dumb way, we're never going to get anywhere.
Right. Yeah. I think that when they did reach out to cosmetologists, but they came at them from the emotional standpoint. You're the first person who's been able to really articulate to me, what's going on here. I knew something was amiss. I just couldn't figure out. But I mean, I knew off the rip. Anytime you write a law around a hairstyle, I said, well, how are they going to enforce that? Because Black people ain't the only people who wear those hairstyles. That law clearly really wasn't. They didn't put men at the forefront. I'll put it like that. I'm not going to say they didn't think of men, because they said Crown Act creating a respectful and open, work spaces, for,
The
people.
problem is right. The problem is the N word, which is natural and protective, and then style.
Yeah.
That is got classic Supreme Court
No.
language all over it. It's
Yeah.
a no no
Yes.
because
No.
hairstyle is in
It's
is
mutable.
mutable.
Yeah. You can
You can
change it.
change.
Yeah, that's it. So there you have it. That's our current event. Also, before we're about to hop into the topic, but before we do that, y'all know I got my hat. Y'all know why? Because today the Browns is gonna check this out. It's going down. The Browns is gonna romp stomp them Steelers. It's going down where all my Brown fans at. Woo, 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 woo. That's right. It's going down. Now y'all know I do not watch sports. So please don't be asking me who's playing. I don't know. I live in Cleveland. I like the Browns, and we called them the Cardiac Kids, and that's where I'm stuck at. I'm still talking about what's his name, Mike Pruitt, all of them. I don't know any of these new players, so please don't even ask me. I'm still talking about Refrigerator Perry. Okay, that I know. I don't know.
He wasn't even a Brown.
I know, but I remember him. They used to do remember that the dance, the shuffle, and all that. I'm old school. Well, come on, that's football. Okay. Anywho, so it is Brown season. If you got your Brown stuff out, I got my Browns hat on. It's going down. You can do a lot of stuff with this hat. Every time we switch topics, I'm going to flip my brim in a new direction to represent the Browns because it's going down. So let's hop into the topic of protein for hair. This was a topic that everybody wanted to know. Should you use protein? Should you not use protein? So I have like 3 videos to help us, navigate through this conversation about how protein works. Does it not work? What different types of protein. I have some proteins that we use here in the hair salon. I'm going to build up to the Olaplex because the Olaplex is the hot topic. I think everybody and their mammy got them a bottle of Olaplex, including me. I keep telling y'all, I'm just like, which y'all don't want to believe. So I bought some Olaplex too, but I'll save my comments for that product called Olaplex. So now remember, all the products and stuff that we're talking about, these are our opinions, which are like what? Cell phones, right? Everybody got one. So these are just opinions. We do not represent the brand. We're not going to push you to buy them. We're most certainly never going to tell you to not buy them or discontinue use. The content here is to get you guys to understand what you're paying for and how things work. And of course, if you are a licensed cosmetologist or a natural hairstylist, we will be at the Afro Hair Summit. It's going to take place Monday, October the 23rd, and that's going to take place at Powell's Barber and Beauty Supply. There you have it. Tickets are available at afrohairscience.com for $65. Lunch is included. We've got 4 wonderful topics, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. So we're only going to do so much here, but we want you guys to understand that, we're here for you guys, but you have to admit, some of the dumbest shit that people say about Black hair is this right here. So let's hop right into it. Some of the dumbest shit that Black people say about protein. So here we go.
Exactly why I resorted to wanting to use this protein treatment, because as you can see, like the ends are a little droopy, especially this one. So I think I have a little bit of heat damage, put it into a little bit of heat damage at the ends. It's not too bad, but protein is good for your hair, and if you're a low porosity hair as myself, then you need to apply this to your hair every 6 to 8 weeks.
So we got to hop to it. Come on, y'all. Get you guys questions ready. Don't be scared. Don't be shy. So the biggest, now that curly hair is the epitome of healthy hair. I mean, if your hair curls, then you have healthy hair. So how does protein help people's curls come back? That is something that is probably one of the biggest beliefs, and that is reasons, I should say, belief. How about reasons why people buy protein? Because they believe that somehow it's going to make the hair turn back to something that it was beforehand. So, what is it that we should be knowing about protein right up front in case something? I gotta go. So just get to it, sure. I gotta go.
That topical application of protein does not work.
I quit. Harrison Vaught. All right, computer's going down. I'll talk to you guys. I was supposed to flip my hat on the next subject. So let me turn it back. Go ahead, Cheryl.
Topical application through 5 minutes, 10 minutes with heat. And unfortunately, and I'm going to apologize for my field, that my field has not told the complete truth about protein. And even the human body does not have just one protein. And there is just no protein in a bottle that is going to help nobody. No, nothing. Because it's not designed that way. And let me just say, the young lady, unfortunately, she taught herself. No cosmetologist told her that. Nobody told her that the stretchier hair needed protein. She's assuming and diagnosing herself. She doesn't know anything about, but protein is not just protein. What protein? Which kind? How does it have an active so it can go to a surface and change it? And that word comes from cosmetology. And it's really peculiar that natural hair care people would use protein, because protein is not just anyone doesn't use it in the salon. It is one of those services that is a specialized kind of, it must be really understood. And so for it to have gotten into the consumer lexicon is peculiar to me, because I don't know who is telling them about protein. I don't know who's telling natural hair care people that their natural hair, untreated, in its natural state, that protein was going to alter it and improve it and enhance it. No one told them that. So I don't know where they're getting it from. The only thing I can do as an inside industry person can say, I'm sorry for miseducating you or not educating you at all, or you not being in school, so I can educate you. Mm-hmm. So you can know, but no one is telling these people to go get protein. And I have to say, and I won't go as far as malfeasance, but I do think the manufacturers are misleading.
Well, that's funny, because here's what Miss Foster had to say. Maybe you can expound on this a little bit more. She says, sorry, Miss Foster. There you go. She says she believes that it is the marketing that is responsible for why people believe that, you can, take this protein and do some magical stuff. That is a belief.
And I do think that everyone in the chat does understand that keratin is a type of protein that is akin to your endocrine system and those hormones as they maturate through your pituitary and your endocrine system as you mature. That protein has a stage. It gets mature and it gets harder, or it gets softer, things of that nature. It gets softer as you get older. It gets gray, or whatever the case may be. But there's collagen. There's different types of filaments and different stages of it in the human body. But that there is no way to get keratin in a jar.
Well,
Yeah.
what about let's pick through some ingredients that we see a lot in protein. The most popular one that people love off the rip, because now remember, guys, sure, this is specific to your natural hair people who do not have chemicals in their hair. So what we hear a lot, show that people want to know about are wheat proteins. That's the number one protein that natural hair people love. Wheat, let's just say wheat and soy.
Okay, now.
And I'll get to that one too, Harrison. That's a good one. So yeah, so now people are really into the wheat and the soy because they're natural. Y'all get where I'm going with that. Natural. Okay.
Let me just say this. The exterior part of keratin is insolvent, which means that you can't penetrate it, right?
Right.
Keratin can last thousands of years, right? It is not solvent. So to take, and the problem with soy and wheat, those are food. That's food. It doesn't work on surfaces.
Even when they kind of mix them up in those machines and put them into bottles of stuff. These products that we have don't have wheat, so I can't put mine up. We're focusing on the natural hair part. So what about if they blend them and put them in machines and Bunsen burners? I don't know. I'm not a chemist. So if they break it down,
Right. But what I am trying to say to you, there is not enough concentration in wheat and soy with amino acids. There's no amino acids in wheat.
I would just think, I mean, you correct me
Now,
if I'm wrong. I would just think on molecular weight alone, I can't see it, you know.
but those are food. Those are dog. That's dog food.
You know what? Come on now.
Most dog foods are protein. They're food sources. They're soy, wheat, protein. I don't I don't know if manufacturers have ever told a person that has keratin hair that all of a sudden every 6 weeks you need to put protein. No one told them that. I don't know where they got that from.
I don't see that.
Maybe there's a natural hair care protein police. I don't know, but to place cosmetology over here never walked over there to tell natural hair care people to put wheat on keratin to help you do what?
Mm,
It is unbelievable. They have held on to it for 23 years. I
yeah.
don't know who told them that. And that is one of the reasons why Afro Hair Science Summit says go to school, natural hair care people, because that is not, I don't know when you see a curl drooping longer and they look lifeless. Let me go get some protein and let me go get the wheat germ or wheat powder or whey
Soy.
powder or
Yeah.
soy
Soy.
powder. No one told them to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know and it is baffling because I think cosmetologists, even in their training, and not if they've gone to the Afro Hair Science Summit, but they don't even know how to pick good protein
Yeah.
because what they'll assume is alpha-G, which is egg or white, the white yolk, or the and
Yeah.
it,
Putting that, yeah. Yeah, people are definitely loving that. So again, you are tuned in to our 72nd episode. Tonight, the topic is, if you just, got into the chat, we're talking about the power of the P, but not that P. We're talking about the power of protein. And I see we have our moderator, Miss Monica, is in the chat. She's all like, good evening, all, in that southern bra. My boss, Lavina Joseph, is in the chat. So y'all know what time it is. That's right. It's time to drop those L's in the chat. Somebody said, don't drop the L's because that means loss or something. I don't care what it means. Over here, it means Lavina Joseph. So you guys go ahead and drop the L's. And that is from my boss. She is in the chat. She's absolutely wonderful. So here's another one. I asked you guys to drop some ingredients that you wanted to know about. And here we have it. Now, we do have these in our products. And Miss, who put that up there? Where'd it go? Oh, here it is. Okay, Miss Foster put it up. There it is, hydrolyzed keratin. So it is most certainly, this is Dudley's. I don't know. People think Dudley's is out of business. Dudley's is still alive and kicking it. It may not be popular, but Dudley's is still around. So this is their DRC. This is old school protein treatment right here. Sure, you remember this one?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I remember
that
one. So this is their DRC. Okay, so this one has that hydrolyzed keratin. Let me see here. So let me see if it's in here. Philip Pelusi, he'd be on some new and improved stuff. So Philip Pelusi does not have it in here. It is in Why Not. This is our mud mask. So they have the hydrolyzed. They have hydrolyzed wheat and hydrolyzed keratin. So the mud mask. This is Why Not. All right, and then I have and then the Philip Pelusi. Yeah, so Philip Pelusi does not use hydrolyzed wheat in his, but yeah, so let's talk about hydrolyzed keratin. So now again, now we're not, that previous one was, on the natural hair. So break down the hydrolyzed keratin.
Okay. Are you asking me what do I think about it, or what is it?
Yeah, how about we do both? Hydrolyzed. Everybody, first, what is hydrolyzed? You see hydrolyzed wheat, hydrolyzed animal. I don't even want to know what that is. Hydrolyzed animal protein.
That's keratin.
Okay. Hair Savant did drop that in the chat. He was the first to talk about keratin. So hydrolyzed animal protein is need we know what animal it's coming from? So that's hydrolyzed keratin. I mean, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and I think it's wool.
It's wool. Okay. All right. I'm sorry. He does have hydrolyzed wheat. Sorry, guys. He does have it. Okay.
Right. What I am saying to you is hydrolyzed means just a breakdown through a watering process, hydrolysis. But I can create hydrolyzed keratin with my hair. But the problem is that I need to know what makes you think your hair strand is going to be altered, enhanced, or treated with a liquid that is outside of the hair and be accepted, down-regulated into the secondary level or the cuticle somehow. What is that going to do? And tell me, how does it happen?
All right, we got a video. This lady, she tried to break it down. I keep telling y'all, me and Cheryl, we don't even be playing this. But here goes. It was her efforts trying to explain these protein layers. So here she go.
That I'm in the process of restoring my hair from hard water that damaged my hair and caused my hair to break off. So with the cuticle layer the blinds kind of it's different layers. So just like blinds, you have layers of hair that lay on top of each other. That is the cuticle layer. Now, when the cuticle layer is broken, when it's torn, it's weaker. And that is what causes the hair to get weaker, because remember, the cuticle layer is the outer layer. The strength of the hair is the cortex, the inner layer. So if the cuticle layer, the outer layer, or the protection layer is broken, is torn, then that is going to compromise the strength or the cortex layer of your hair.
She was getting it too much, y'all. And I was like, say what? So that's
and okay.
And now that's from the natural hair community.
She has watched several videos. She has read several things. She has probably, she has done Google. And my next question to those in the chat here, what did she do to tear it?
She said hard water.
Hard water doesn't tear.
Hold on. Wait a minute, Sandra. I'm just gonna play just a little bit. Here she goes.
That I'm in the process of restoring my hair from hard water that damaged my hair and caused my hair to break off. So with the cuticle layer,
there it is. The hard water damaged her hair, and it caused her hair to break off.
And the protein is harder. It is. You see how we don't think things out? We don't think she wants her hair hard because she wants it tough. That doesn't make sense. And I know what she's trying to say. And in class, I try to be as patient as I can and kind of pull us back. Hard water, and I understand that in another regard, maybe in another subject, her point could be well taken. But it's out of context here because she wants her hair tough because it was torn.
That's why she's putting protein on it.
Right. But the protein in its form is harsher than the water.
Here goes Sandra. Oh, wow.
So protein protein is so strong. Keratin, your fingernails don't tear because you ain't stuck them in no dishwater. Come on, y'all. I mean, that's not even that they sticking it from long periods of time softens them.
Right.
Because of the soap, not the water. So, but you're making another liquid present and putting that on it. But then you say you want it to make it tough because the water has broken down. And I just told you that keratin is not solvent in water. We just settled that. We already know that keratin is not solvent in its nature. Its amino nature is to be hydrophobic.
Yeah, you cannot soak your nails in water. Thank you. See, here's Savon. You be on your shit. Damn, he ain't playing out here. You can't soak your nails in water and eventually they're going to disintegrate.
Yep, that nail polish ain't coming off because you put some water on it.
Yeah.
So what we have to do, come on, Afro Hair Science Summit people, we have to learn things in chemistry and learn things. Now, we're not saying that protein, once we understand it as top professionals and understand how to manipulate it and understand how it works, okay? And I think I did mention the one that I chose. and the one that Mr. Morrow chose. But it is a process. You just don't throw nothing cold in no jar and slap it on the head and talking about I'm gonna walk around for 30 minutes or I'm gonna get under a plastic bag and then I'm gonna sit under it. It doesn't quite work like that.
So you took the next point. So if what about if they put the plastic on top of the hair, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wouldn't the plastic help the product, the ingredients, like penetrate? Because that's what everybody is talking about. That they put the plastic cap on and then they sit under the dryer and they let the product work.
Right. The problem with covers or covering anything, it allows the moisture to rise up and then out. Putting plastic or covering something does not allow juices to be baked in. Plastic causes precipitation, the moisture to rise. That's why when you jog and you cover your body, the water, you want to sweat the water out. And I know you guys don't want to make that make sense because you want to do the opposite with the shit with your hair. You want to put something over the hair to have something go in, but then when you put it on your body and your face, you cover it and you want the shit to come out because you want to lose some weight. You can't have it both ways. Covering something does not allow what you have on the surface to go in. It makes things rise. It makes the moisture rise. It makes things swell. It makes things release. It
Not a
does.
good thing. Stop putting them plastic caps on your head. We have a
The
question.
plastic caps on the head during the Jerry curl in the California curl days to make a separation from our clothing. And for it in the cold wave curl, for it to be able to open up. It's not letting something go in.
Excuse me, we have a chef in the house, and she had this to say. There it is. That is the podcast. Why you should not put plastic caps on your head. We put turkeys in a bag. Remember that. It makes great for the gravy. So do not put the plastic cap on your head.
You have more juice. It's to make the meat tender, and then you pour the juice back on it, and then you
Yeah.
keep doing it, and then you keep doing it, right?
Right. Right. Okay. We have a question for you, Cheryl. Here we go. Here it is from Miss Foster. So, what are we feeling when our hair feels more fortified after using protein? And what is responsible for that tautness when you put that stuff on there and it has that ting, 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 ricochet rabbit hair?
Right. It's the same feeling as you have with hard water. It's the same thing that if you stick your hand in water too long, your skin shrivels up.
They playing with us, y'all. Let me switch my hat. They playing with us, y'all. Did you hear that? Now remember, she said.
Now, let me ask you a question. Because if it went somewhere, you wouldn't feel it.
That's a good one. If it went somewhere, we wouldn't feel it. What we have to do, it is imperative. We can't not say this enough. Please take y'all ass to school and stop this Google, because Cheryl is able to tell who's Googling. Now, I y'all know me. I put my stuff on the carpet. You know, I have been guilty of that, being just terribly, terribly lazy. Sometimes you just like whatever. At our salon, we use protein primarily for chemical services. So that one reason we do color, we do a lot. 98% of our customers have color in their hair. And remember, she was making the difference between people who don't have chemicals on their hair and people who do. People who don't have chemicals, we don't bother with any. Like I said, and my best friend is in the chat. She can tell you, and my boss too. I don't rock them deep conditioning treatments. I just, anywho. So what about this?
Wow. Manufacturers have done a job, right?
Yeah.
And they have sold us a bunch of, and that's what happens when the pharmaceutical. This is what would happen if the FDA did not govern pharmaceutical companies. This is what would happen to medical field.
People would just be
Just
making.
saying that they would just be making, and they would be dealing with your body, your hormones, your blood, your tissue, your heart, your brain, your skin, your bones. It would just be incredible. And this is when you have manufacturers that just say things. Now, I am not for regulations. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that um, you cannot have a hair that has not been denatured
Mm,
benefit from something on the surface.
okay. All right.
If it is untreated, if it, like you said, it's natural, why would you apply protein? I don't get, like, what happened for someone to tell you to use that?
Okay,
That
so we have two questions in the chat. Before I bring them up, let's give some super shout out, Cheryl. Super duper shout out to our change agent. We got Miss Foster in the chat. Our new follower, subscriber rather, Lawana Bennett. Welcome. I'm gonna put your question up. Our homie, hair savant. We got, of course, our virtual partner, Miss Sandra, is in the chat. Of course, Monica, the moderator, is going to be asking you guys in a minute now. Please hit the thumbs up button and the heart button, depending on what platform you're on. Also, we have Miss Dewey is in the house. So everybody, welcome. Mika, how you doing? Ornisa, how you doing? Kofi Paisa is in the Heezy. So welcome everybody. It's everybody who hasn't dropped anything in the chat. We appreciate you guys very, very much. The channel is growing. It's moving. Keep your questions coming. I know you guys have a lot of questions about protein. So Lawana says she was late. She wants to know again, can you just kind of repeat how often should natural hair get a protein treatment? Not use protein. Now she's over the treatment. And then Ms. Foster is asking me, what about regular heat users with no color? Do I use protein on people who don't have color and they use a lot of heat? The answer is no. No, I don't. The hair is already healthy. I mean, because remember, that outer protein layer that the lady was describing, the only way you're really going to be able to do something to that, you have to put a chemical. Heat doesn't do that unless you literally have to singe the hair, like burn it, turn it brown. But by that point, the hair it's gone. So it ain't gonna work at that. You just gotta let it cut the piece off and let it grow back. We don't really push that. We just wash it and condition it. We were doing a lot of hype with the using words like restorative. We were using words like what we would say restore. What is another word we would say? Manageability, which you could definitely see manageability. So we were in the hype area too. And when we went to the Afro Hair Summit, that was our biggest question, Ms. Foster. Well, what's us gonna say? And Cheryl said, well, why y'all feel the need to say so? Why can't you just wash the hair, put some conditioner on, and be done with it? We were like, what a concept. So,
you know, to answer the other young lady's question, is that, and I think she was talking about how often should we get a protein treatment. Am I correct?
Yeah, she wants to know not just protein, but a treatment.
Well, if natural hair, and if did you mess it up or something? Did you, and there is no treatment. If it is natural and you are taking care of it every day, there is no reason to sell you the pomp and circumstance of a bullshit deep conditioner. There is no such thing. It's natural.
She mean protein, protein.
Right? And I'm just saying that there is nothing for protein to do.
I'm just going to be honest. I'm going
It's
to be very, 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 very honest. When I first went into business, I had all that. I had the caviar, I had Matrix, I had Cat. Remember Cat from Reckon? I had all of that stuff, and I'm going to tell you what would happen. I'm just talking about the Revis Design Team Hair Salon, which is like small in the world of cosmetology. When we would put this on the customer's hair and we would ask them, how does your hair feel? I'm being honest. They will always say, I don't notice anything. And so we just stopped doing it because my hair was already healthy. Like Cheryl said, if you're managing it, you maintaining it. When I color my hair, I do use the protein because I have taken something out, so I've altered it. But once I color it, we're done with that. We do use conditioner. So,
and I know that it's conflated because you're confusing how important protein is to skin, the vitality of collagen, and how the tissue and the epidermis and then the dermis and how supple it is, and drinking and being healthy. That is not the same protein that the cosmetic world is talking about. And the
okay.
cosmetic world, in terms of protein, is talking about the skin. There is the we are using, now you have to remember, in the beauty world, we borrow hair makeup borrows hair, and hair borrows makeup.
Okay.
Lingo. Okay.
Oh,
And the lingo gets caught in there, and you think that when you hydrolyze something, that it then is applicable and is doing something to your skin. Your skin is built to keep things out. And if you take care of it, and if you put skin in the protein world, is not quite the same, because hair, the reason why they talk about it being dead, because it has to be denatured in order for it to be something wrong with it. Then you can probably say, I need a mask or I need a protein. But then even at that point, because the layer or surface or substrate doesn't have anything to bind with it. Okay. And Dr. Morrow, during the years of the shock treatment of taking the curl out to straight hair, had to study the power of enzymes. And we chose enzymes. But even in the process of putting a cream on the denatured hair fiber, means injured or is changed or is altered, right? Even that needed to go in, have a pH process, have a catalytic chemical reaction called metabolism. The pH adjusted, and then we had to go in there with heat and seal it, because enzymes are glues. And so that's how we fixed breakage, pH problems, and shedding. But in the natural state, when you have the hair strand has not been affected one way or another, you just been washing it and braiding and twisting it. It does protein, the cosmetic grade of protein, not the food grade of protein, not wheat germ and hydrolyze this and I can hydrolyze anything. But the hydrolyzed keratin is wool from animals. And that your hair, your scalp does not have a binding activity to say, oh, this is protein, let me soak it in. And it don't work like that.
It doesn't work like that. But what does work, if we got your next questions, is this right here.
Pump me on, pump me on.
All right. So thank you guys so much for being change agents to help change the narrative. All of these wonderful questions. The chat is actually starting to get full. So I take it we can go ahead on to part 2. We're going to go ahead on and get some more questions going for you, Cheryl. Hold up, just waiting. Oh, there we go. Sorry, guys. Sometimes it just takes a minute for it to come back through. All right, there it is. Okay, so here Miss LaWanna Bennett says, so basically what you're saying, Cheryl, is if your hair is healthy, then she doesn't need to even be bothered with a treatment. The answer is?
No, the hair strand, now your personality you may get nervous, start screwing around with your hair. Oh my God, it's been 4 weeks. It's not like an oil change. Even an oil change, they give you a date. Put it in the left hand, you know what I mean, up in the corner, and say, come by 3,000, 600,000 miles or something. But hair is not like that.
Okay, so Miss LaWanna, don't waste your money. We tell our customers, so we send them back out to
be nice to it. Be nice to it. You know what I mean? I'm not saying, but there is no knockout punch power of protein that's going to come save the day and rebathe and shellac your hair to make it new. No, it's
especially when it's already healthy. Remember, the fiber is going to stretch, so you're going to see some variations on the fiber. Just going back to that analogy about like the leaves on a tree, you're going to see the sun is going to take its toll on some of the leaves, but you don't like, let me start taking the leaves off to make the tree look healthy. Don't do that, guys. It's okay if you got a couple of stringy pieces. It's just part of moving the fabric. So here is what Miss Foster says.
Okay.
So she thinks that the manufacturers are telling us that everything breaks down the protein, that protein layer. And so such as combing, washing, hot tools. So in their minds, it's the manipulation, like it's weathering the hair. And oh boy, you have to be doing some serious weathering. But go ahead and help her out with that one.
Mm-hmm. So if that was the case, locks would be bad. If that was the case, twist outs would be bad. If that was the case, braids would be bad. Braids, you have to, we just think of it like this. Keratin is a very tough, it's like antlers. That's the deer's version of keratin, right? It's horny. It's corny. That's what keratin means. Corn. It means it's tough. It's durable. It is very resilient. And so make sure that you understand, because I make things too, but I'm a technology company. And what ends up happening that to keep us from making things better is that we want to keep saying that the natural sources, not to say that you can't include them in ingredient, but keeping something natural to heal something natural does not make scientific sense. And there's nothing I can create in the laboratory to improve a surface that is already doesn't need improving.
Okay, so what about this right here? This was our clip for today. What about this one? I think this is just to kind of further drive in the point that Miss Foster is talking about.
Here are 3 signs your hair needs protein. Number 1, your hair is very mushy when it's wet. Typically, that's a key indicator of a lack of protein.
So let me tell you some of the great benefits of avocado. First thing first, avocado encourages collagen production. Avocado also manages scalp inflammation and can also help with dandruff. It also helps protect your hair with antioxidants, and it also strengthens your hair.
What is protein overload, and how is it different from protein sensitivity? What should you do if you have protein overload, and how do you avoid it?
The dumbest shit people say about black hair.
See you guys on Monday on America's Favorite. So there you have it. You've got the description of the mushy hair. You're going back to foods, and now you have, this is very new. I have never heard of this until the past 2 years. Hair Savant, let me know if you are a cosmetologist. When did you first hear of protein sensitivity and protein overload? Now that one, that one and the putting the monostat on the hair, that's what I said. Okay, that's it. God damn it! It's time to. We got to get up out of our. Come on, hairstylists. Come on, y'all, and we got to stop this now. You put a monostat on your scalp, and then you have protein sensitivity and protein overload. So I think this is what Miss Foster, are these some of the things that you're talking about?
Yeah. I would agree with Miss Foster. The manufacturer is there to create an aisle called maintenance aisle. It does not say cure aisle, does not say healing aisle, does not say improvement aisle. It says maintenance, and it only maintains you where you come and when you come to the store. Wherever your hair is at when you go to that store, that is going to satisfy you for about a couple of hours or maybe 24 hours. But your hair is going to be right back there. You're going to have a bathroom of a graveyard of a bunch of products. And you're going to think, oh, it's me. I'm just not picking correctly. I'm not reading the back right. I'm just one product away from solving all my problems.
Just one more.
Just one more. One more. And that means that you are grossly misinformed and grossly miseducated, because it's not that the elements which are behind the ingredients, and then there's the elements behind the elements,
right?
Amino acids, and then you have the polypeptide chains, and then you have all of these, but then you have cosmetic food and industrial grade of everything, right?
Right.
It's just that the sources that these things are from, in order to improve something, that a strand that is insoluble in water,
right?
Okay, it becomes colored, or it's enhanced, or it's relaxed, or it's something that changes its nature. Okay, regardless if it's improved, you can enhance it, whatever. But the hair strand itself does not have a need for a source of protein, because protein is catalytic. It needs to be catalyzed by an active. And what protein doesn't have it by it in and of itself?
It just doesn't.
Right. The enzyme that we use, at least it has a molecule of the enzyme protein that interacts with the substrate, and then it glues itself together. But that's because Mr. Morrow has such integrity that he couldn't just sell you any old kind of.
And that's on chemically treated hair, guys. Chemically treated hair. So what she's saying is, if you take a strand of hair, guys, just try it and put it in a bottle of water and let it sit and come back next week. It's still gonna be there.
Right.
It's not.
And even if you were to cut it open, it's dry inside.
Yeah, it's not. Right? It's not gonna disintegrate like paper does that. I hope you guys are following us. Hair Savant has something very wonderful. I think people forget that hair sheds naturally, and the longer it gets, the more hair there appears to be released. Outstanding. This is why you need to go to cosmetologists who have a lot of application of their knowledge, and not just taking in what they see on, as he says, the influencers. So here's the one that people are waiting for, Cheryl.
Let me just say it before I forget.
Go ahead.
Not also saying that if a surface has bacteria and a surface has a fungus, that you can't put something on the surface, but that is a pH change, right? Okay.
Right. Okay. All right. So Olaplex is the one everybody's been waiting for. So let me
Okay.
resituate my hat. So here goes it. Let me just come on this way. Oh, let me flip it inside out. Hold on. Let me flip it out inside out because we're getting ready for the Browns. And the Olaplex is what everybody wants to know about. So here is the science of Olaplex according to Olaplex.
Okay.
Olaplex is unique patented technology that finds and relinks single sulfur hydrogen bonds into a disulfide bond.
What you talking about, Will?
We only have 4 ingredients. The main active ingredient is bis-aminopropyl diglycol dimaleate, and this is the patented ingredient developed by chemists outside of the hairdressing industry.
It can happen.
The main active ingredient is bis-aminopropyl diglycol dimaleate. We've got polypeptide chains where the proteins in the hair are stored. But the main thing that we notice is that the bridge between the sulfur bonds is broken down, leaving these sulfur hydrogen bonds free floating. Now this is where Olaplex comes in.
And I think this really does show you that Olaplex is truly unique.
Y'all look at my face.
Now I want to just I want to translate what they said. Okay.
Get y'all pens and papers. Harrison Vaughn, I got my paper ready. I'm ready. I'm gonna give you my take on it. But go ahead, Cheryl. I'm ready. And y'all take notes so you can rewatch this. But
oh, it ain't gonna take long. It ain't gonna take long. Okay. Rearranging, as he would say, those free floating after you get through, because side chains, okay, you have a sulfur, okay, bond, and you have another sulfur, and then what he's saying, the disulfide bridge is what it actually is called. And when that little other sulfur bond is gone, what he is trying to scare you with his language and saying that they just get free floating. Now, when does that happen? When does that? Because that is in the cortex.
Right. When you got to color it. You got to, yeah.
Now, I need you guys to understand. So, all natural hair care people, he's not talking to you.
Can you repeat that, mother?
Okay. That he just drew, okay, even though it's misleading, even to on the professional side, and I'm not going to get into that because we get into that at the Afro Hair Science Summit. But what he is saying, okay, because he didn't draw the real science, okay, he just drew circles. That's not how that works. But anyway, I digressed. But even in what he said there, it does not apply to hair that is unchemically treated or altered or enhanced at all. He's not talking to you, but he doesn't say that because manufacturers don't want to say who they're talking to because they want all you people to buy it and make them the number one product inside of Sephora. And you think that they're talking about you and with your natural hair. Oh, that sounds like I want to do that to mine because I don't want free bonds just flowing in my cortex going up and down and don't have any place to go. That is bullshit. So I just want to let you know, he's not talking to you guys. He's not talking to natural hair care people because your bonds are what? Supposedly not broken. So that little cute little diagram, okay, gets you guys every time because y'all think white folks' ice is better, it's colder than anybody else's. And they start drawing those with that little accent and all that bullshit, okay? And them things is floating around and all them free radicals and all that other craziness. It's not talking to natural hair care people. Yes, Miss Foster. This is a sucker-free podcast. And as a professional, I would have sat him down and told him to go somewhere with that bullshit, because that drawing is cute. But if you're going to draw with a hair strand and you're going to do your primary, secondary, and tertiary, which means trichology. That's why it's called that, because it comes through. But he went into the cortex. The cortex ain't got nothing to do with natural hair care people. Natural hair at all. And he just sold it to you. Oh, that sounds good. And don't that look good? He had the product and the two little white folks. Bam! Sold you just like that. And sounds.
Yeah. I love that. Hey, hair savant, did you check that out? Y'all think they ice colder than ours? Ooh, that's some steak shit right there, man. Nobody's ice is colder than anybody else's ice. It's a bunch of malarkey, and like she said, we can go when you come to this is why you guys please come to the Afro Hair Summit and stop listening to what is that misinformation? You guys are already in the chat. You're starting to figure out the gimmicky. I think Ms. Foster is definitely putting it in there and letting us know that a lot of this is marketing. And here you go, right here. Those things happening during chemical processing. Thank you so much. I cannot wait to meet you. This hair savant on the BALL. Okay, the B.
So they did a magic shift. Took something that happens in the cosmetology world, because they know y'all don't know, because y'all didn't go to school. They know you don't know, and so they just switched it right on.
Yeah, you can't flatter on your hair enough for what they're talking about. Ain't that much two-strand twisting. Plus, y'all put so much of that kinky, curly, custard, mustard, peanut butter, and jelly and yogurt on top of y'all hair. Hey, that ain't gonna get through that no kind of way. So if you're using any of those creams, those Cantus and why nots and yes sirs and no ma'ams, auntie, uncles, funky, y'all know what I'm talking about. If you guys are using any of those products, I'm gonna tell you right now, ain't nothing Olaplex gonna do for you, because we can barely get that shit off with shampoo. So I already know Olaplex will not work. So buyer beware is what we're saying. You can try it, go for what you know, but you may find that it's not quite what it's out to be. Even in their lawsuits, it's kind of like with Diva Curl, what they're finding is that the people who are using the products are not the candidates for the product. And this is why the manufacturers are losing, because Cheryl is telling you guys basically because they're not doing good.
Right, I'm sorry, but let's also be clear. You have to have a driver. You still have to have a catalytic driver to get what the benzoate inside to be able to rearrange, because when you rearrange, I want it to be rearranged. Mm-hmm. That's what I did my cosmetic treatment for.
Right.
So don't tell me that it's a bad thing. We rearrange every day. That's what color is. That's what texturizer, light texturizer. That's what it is. You're temporary rearranging the hydrogen bond. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Right. So what he is saying looks good on the sales end of it to pull you in, but you still need a catalytic driver to get in there and to affect bond material. It just was so misleading.
Yes. We appreciate you so much, Hair Savant. That way, Cheryl and I don't look like we're the know-it-alls. And this is why we ask you guys to partner with us to help change the narrative, so that Hair Savant isn't the only person out here saying that. We need more professionals to make these clear distinctions. So we are not anti-Olaplex, okay? What we're saying is that product is primarily, it primarily is for people who are altering their hair using high levels of lift or chemicals that is really going to do some serious, bond rearranging at that cortex level. Now, I did try the Olaplex when it, first came out, and I challenged their theory as a bond multiplier. So I don't know if they're still saying that, but back in the, I don't know, one of their
they got bonds. They got bonds in the bottle.
Girl, listen, I'm gonna tell y'all what happened. You ready, Hair Savant? I challenged them. I said, ain't no way, shape, form, or fashion you gonna put some bonds in a bottle and it's gonna multiply. I'm not to, you might have to find one of their old ones. So I went on to their Instagram page and just tried to chop that down. And you know what they did? They got my shit shut down. They got my Instagram page. Yes, my original Instagram page got shut down. So you got to be careful, even challenging them.
Oh, the beauty lobby is real.
Right. And let me just say, this is why you need to come to the Afro Hair Summit, because these companies, they don't even want you to, I mean, you can't even challenge them. I mean, we're professionals. I challenged Cheryl in the class in front of and all of these were licensed professionals. I was like, no, Cheryl, you bugging. I mean, I stood up. I got off the script because I was so afraid that I was not going to be able to sound foxy. It was something totally new. And y'all already know I said it before. I was afraid that I was going to lose some money. But Cheryl let me, get it out. And this is what she keeps saying. We need to get in these rooms and we got to duke it out, y'all. We got to get this ignorance out of our system. And so I hadn't tried it because she was teaching, right? And y'all know cosmetologists, when we in the class, we be talking about like, she don't know, how we be in the class. I'm just talking about me and my crew. I ain't talking about y'all hair salons. If you are a hairstylist, y'all know how we could be in the hair class on the instructor. And I just lost my religion, forgot that Cheryl was my PNC. And I was like, oh, hell no. Cheryl was like, well, come on with it then. And I was like, well, come on. We was like that. For real. And then when Cheryl was like, that, and everybody was like, be quiet, Dosha. It got like that. But you know what? I learned something. And we need to get this ignorance out of our systems. We should be able to say things like, no, I don't believe that. Cheryl did not get upset. She did not say, sit your little ass down. She let me get all of my ignorance out and was like, are you done? And I was like, yeah, I was like, who on my side? Nobody. When nobody's hair savant, everybody was like, you on your own, nigga. Excuse me. I'm sorry about the M-bomb. But then white folks like, girl, you just a dumb. I mean, how you gonna try to outfox a teacher? But you gotta let your ignorance. Now, I'm not saying everybody's like that. I'm talking about myself, and I'm telling you guys, this is why we need Afro hair science, because that level of ignorance, it needs to be confronted. I need to get that out. And I'm telling you, my career is better. So please get your tickets, okay? The class is on Monday, October the 23rd. It's in Toledo, Ohio at Powell's Barber and Beauty Supply, and that's at 901 Nebraska. You can go online, Afro Hair Science, and get your ticket. Marks M says this info is mind-blowing. It is. Welcome. Those who can't attend the summit. Cheryl and I have already talked about, now y'all know I don't know shit, so I keep telling you, and please stop inboxing me, y'all, asking me. I keep telling y'all I'm learning too. As a matter of fact, on Thursday, we are going to be talking about what makes an expert an expert. I am not an Afro hair science expert. I am an Afro hair science student. So he wants to know what to do about those who can't attend. So Cheryl, can you share with him what you're trying to do by way of some videos to help with that? So here you go, Mark's M, straight out of Cheryl's mouth. There you go.
Okay. There are going to be some modules that I use in the Afro arena, and then we will be sharing those, and then I'm going to do a voiceover, and then you'll be able to purchase them, and then we will be able to do some one-on-one even through the podcast, because it's important that we expand and we get into the new world and the new thought of for the 20th century. We're 20th century hairstylists, and we want to move it forward, and we also want to enrich ourselves. We deserve it. We are the ones that built it. We've got to bring it back. I think the natural hair care world is ready for us, but we just want to raise the level of our scholar and get some of this out before we gear up for 2024, and let's just do it.
Let's just do it. Okay, I hope I am pronouncing your name right. Welcome. I'm just so happy to see everybody here. Cheryl, we're so excited. I hope I'm saying your name right. Lee Morrow. Always wondered about natural hair and protein. My mind wasn't playing games with me. No, it wasn't. It probably wasn't making that much of a difference. And like Cheryl said, what you're feeling is just the product sitting on top of the hair because it's heavier than water. So protein is a lot, So it's just not what's happening, what you think is happening. Go ahead, Cheryl. I'm sorry.
Oh, but in regards to Mark, I'm going to re-explain protein as it is akin to the protein growing out of your head. And then we'll pull back into the cosmetic grade on how we apply it in the salon and how we can manipulate it. Because there's a couple of different proteins. Your hair is protein, and then you weren't told the truth about that. And then we will understand it, and then we'll go through the industrial, cosmetic, and food grade, and which one is appropriate, and then the one to ask for, and then the one to look for.
And this, right. And I said this before, guys. When you see stuff that's for professionals only, and you get a hold of it and you really think you're doing something because you got it, because a lot of people really believe that professional only means you get it at a lower cost. And I hope by now, if you've been following us on both the platforms, Planet Pluto Pseudo, and of course right here on the dumbest shit that people say about black hair, we're a little harsh, but we hope you guys understand that that is not what professional only mean. You do have people in the chat like Hair Savant, Beauty according to Miss Y. She's not here, but sometimes she's here. There's a lot of professionals who are in the chat, and I hope you guys can see that there's a lot more going on with hair than just what meets the eye. And according to Miss Foster and Miss Sandra and so many wonderful people in the chat, we have to be very careful about the marketing, okay? Because I think that's where we're, some of you guys are getting lost. But Miss LaWanda got her question answered, like, well, if my hair is already healthy, so really I don't need deep conditioners. I don't need protein nor protein treatments. No, the only thing you need to do is just shampoo your hair and use those conditioners to help with the pH on the water. And you know what? That's good enough. Okay. If you're altering it, well, you need to go back to the hair salon. And if I were you, I would book with Hair Savant, because definitely he's on the older end, the E, not from 87, but not from 1983. You know what I'm saying? So that's how it goes. Next week, we're going to be back and we're going to be talking about sweat and hair. It's that time of the year. People are going to be trying to eat up all the food. They're going to be getting ready to try to lose some weight. So people are concerned about exercising and sweat. What does sweat do to hair? I had a customer come in and she said that she stopped working out because the sweat that was turning into salt on her hair was drying her hair out. And I said, now, that's some dumb shit that people say about black hair. They say, Come on, Ladosha. I said, no, you just cut that out. So everybody in the salon was like, yeah, it does. I'm like, y'all too? I failed them miserably. So we're going to talk about sweat and hair because a lot of people really don't want to exercise. They blame sweat for everything that goes wrong with their hair, especially dryness. I'm not familiar with salt. That's a new one. I said, well, that's a new one. So we're going to come back next week and we're going to talk about sweat.
We're going to talk about it.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it. So let me just, I did get on the pronunciation. Thank you so much. So here is what's going down on Thursday at 10 o'clock p.m. If y'all could please come on back and join us on Thursday, then you'll be able to check this out.
Welcome to Planet Pluto.
I'm telling you, I don't think aliens wants to come to planet Earth. We killing each other, we shrinking the earth, we talking some crazy stuff about hair, but that's okay because we are here for you guys. Cheryl, any closing thoughts before we wrap this up? Don't forget, visit afrohairscience.com, and Cheryl is definitely going to work on some content for people who cannot make the summit, and these are best taught in person. I know you guys like video stuff, but maybe we, you just
maybe we can do it. Yeah, maybe we can do a little
Zoom or something like that. Maybe we'll think about it. Yeah,
I think it's very important because I am going to break down very slowly in the Afrocentric terms, so you won't have to remember this stuff. Once you learn it Afrocentric way that Dr. Willie Morrow meant for you to learn it, it sticks to your brain. It makes sense, it's logical, and it's scientifically sound, and it's applicable for you to use these skills in salon and to grow your client base, and for people to come to you when they have problems. You improve your diagnostic skills, you improve your prognosis skills, you now know how to have a professional medical team, but you're leading. You are the cosmetologist. You have to lead the team. And then be able to improve your just your overall client connection and grow your business. And I don't know if you guys are, within that 25 year, I retired at 15 years, but hey, just build good, solid beauty businesses. And that's what the Afro Hair Summit is all about.
All right. So there you have it. Hair Savant. I am absolutely in 100% agreeing with what he just posted, and that is help us take the industry back. It belongs to us. A lot of this stuff that we are going over, it definitely belongs in the hair salon, and this is what we're here for. We're not just here to style your hair. To be honest, the last reason a person comes to a hair salon, honestly, guys, it is not for a hairstyle, okay? That's the end result, but there are some other things that people are coming to us for. So thank you guys so much. Sister Nia Kobe, I see you in the chat. Luna Mufan, welcome, welcome, welcome. She wants to know, purchasing the DVD, we're not going to record and do anything on the DVD. Am I correct, Cheryl?
The modules will be able to be purchased and you can download them. And I think that would be the best alternative if we don't create a live kind of version. But thank you for pushing the envelope in the conversation for those who cannot come.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, that's what we do right here. So shut up. See what I'm saying? See, it happens in the live, you see? So we are going to be able to do that for you guys, and you'll be able to purchase that. And then we also see that there is a big request to do some things online. Maybe we can get a poll to see how many people would be interested in taking a class, via Zoom. And so you guys just keep rocking it out with us. We appreciate your support very much. And so, again, you have watched the 72nd episode of The Dumbest Shit That People Say About Black Hair, where we talked about the power of the P, but not that P. We're talking about protein, that is. My name is Ladosha Wright, aka Key Lolo. That's my PNC right there, the one and only Cheryl Morrow, aka the Hair Oracle, according to Hair Savant, and everybody in the chat. My boss Lavina, hit those L's. Don't forget to do that. Please, if you are watching this post live, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. Share the content. If you know a licensed professional, a natural hairstylist who's kind of struggling, say, hey, you might want to watch this, okay? In the meantime, you know what we say when we're always signing out, right? We are always talking about a whole lot of peace, a whole lot of love, and for sure a whole lot of hair. But check it out. If you ain't got it, don't want it, can't stand it, can't grow it, hell, you plan on cutting it off because you got some bald patches and all that stuff. You've been putting that protein and shit on there and it ain't acting right. Hey, don't worry about that because all that is beautiful too, and so are you. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you Thursday at 10 o'clock over on Planet Pluto Pseudo.